Greetings fellow ukuleleans, Jeff Weinberger coming at you here with a new ukulele tutorial. I'd like to talk about a great song from 1946, and it's called Route 66. Bobby Troup was the composer. He originally sang it, but then about a year later Nat King Cole recorded it, became a huge hit for him. And most of us know that song from Nat King Cole singing it, although lots and lots of other people have, including Diana Krall and many others. So let's get right into it. It's a 12-bar blues, and I like to do it in G. It sits real nice on the ukulele in G. And a 12-bar blues usually only has 3 chords, and generally those are going to be fairly simple chords. Major chords, 7th chords, that sort of thing. But the purpose of this video is not only to show you the song Route 66, but I would like to get into some extended chords, some 6th chords and 9th chords and 13th chords, and some really beautiful little voicing. So let's look at how to take the basic 3 chords of a 12-bar blues in G and go further with them. So the first thing that you heard me do was a G6 chord. One of my favorites. 6th chords in general, that could be the topic of a whole other tutorial. The magical 6th chord, otherwise known as a minor 7th chord. But we'll get into that later about the theory, how a G6 can also be an E minor 7. I've mentioned that in other videos. But that's our first chord. That's the main one that we're going to be using. C9 is the 2nd chord. And that is just like C7. You could use C7, but if you want it a little spicier, a little more interesting, we put our 2nd finger on the C string 2nd fret. So 0, 2, 0, 1 gets you a beautiful C9 chord. That voice leads so smoothly from G6. You just drop one note, a half step, and you have a whole new chord. So that's a nice progression. Later on in the tune there's a 2-5 in G. The 2 chord, A minor, the 5 chord D or D7. In this case I changed the A minor to A minor 9, otherwise known as C major 7. Many chords have dual identities, and that is something we'll get into, but for our purposes today we're calling this A minor 7. A minor 9 actually. It would be A minor 7 if you played it open, otherwise known as C6. And then if you add your 2nd finger to the 2nd fret of the A string, the note B, it's an A9 chord. Really hip jazz chord. And then instead of D7, which would be kind of plain, it's okay, I like to do this chord called E flat augmented. It's just a substitute for D7. It's slightly dissonant. It really pulls you back towards the 1 chord. And that's why I like it so much. Very evocative chord that really leads nicely to, so you hear that tension and that resolution, which is one of the reasons we use extended chords, is to add tension to the sound of the chord instead of having things be static and not so moving. These extensions really help the chords pull toward each other and have lots of interest and movement, a lot of color too. So there's one way to play Route 66 with a G6 chord, a C9 chord, an A minor 9 chord, an E flat augmented, and that would get you through just fine. I have another set of chords. If you wanted to go way up here on the 7th fret and bar all the way across, that's a G6 chord way up there. Beautiful little 6th chord. And then for C9, why don't we do this? This is real different. You don't see this very often. It's 3-0-0-5. Very unusual and different sort of voicing for the C7 chord that would be in this tune. We can do A minor 7 open, as I was talking about earlier, and then A flat 7, which is 1, 3, 2, 3. Very hip kind of substitute for a D7 to do A flat 7. It's a tritone away. It's one of those tritone substitutions that you might hear about if you study jazz theory. So here it is with that set of chords. could, instead of G7, G6, etc., you could do G9. That's a really cool chord. G9 is 4, 5, 5, 5. I just do a bar on the 5th fret to get those three. So G9, that's not that unusual, but it's pretty hip. There's a C9 up in that part of the neck too. If you were to do a 4-finger C9, that would give you this. It'd give you 5, 4, 6, 5. Like that.